Right, hello there guys. Welcome to part 8 of Python for Beginners. Now it's not Python for Beginners because you are no longer beginners, right? You can if you believe you can. Just carry that belief forward unless you become good and professional developers, right? So let's get quickly started with class number 8. And before I get started with class number 8, I remember that I asked certain questions, maybe one question yesterday of that evaluation, that we want to take evaluation or we want to take E, and if the user inputs E, we need to evaluate, and for that we have to take string, not integer. All right, and let's see how many of you have been able to answer. You take quite a while to answer because time and tide waits for none. Okay, Najib Nazir is answering. Elif option is equal to E, num1 is equal to input. He's taking input at runtime, right? But still, before that, he still has to remember that we are taking two more inputs, which is num1 and num2. What if I don't want to evaluate? I want to add or I want to delete. Gaussian is a consistent one. Okay, option. Float, input, factor, number, and if you type E typing still means that you have to take two numbers from the user, right? So these two numbers are still going to be taken, right? Okay, Faiza, answer the issue of eval here can be solved by writing statements. Oh my god, if A, then write this, in S, then write this, then if. You working very hard, you're trying to get the logic. I must congratulate you for your efforts. But yeah, so that is it is basically if things are meant to be done and closed down, then your logic is good. But if we take object-oriented programming into considerations and the power of object-oriented programming and the power of Python into considerations, then we have to reuse the code. Writing input in every condition is not going to do. It is going to give us a result, but not a better way. But yeah, I must congratulate and appreciate you for your try. Well done, very well done. Zamir is answering. Let me read. Okay, it's taking only one input and enter A for add, S for subtract, and E for eval. If option is equal to E, and then evaluate the option. What if option is S? There's no code. Remaining code is as nothing. Read more. Okay, remaining code is as it is. So still you are going to take two inputs, right? I've kept sketch for you. I don't know how many of you downloaded sketch. Code snippet RC Khan. Okay, and right. Jahangir is replying to RC Khan. Code snippet, but yeah, problem is that three inputs. Yeah, Jahangir, you replied what I'm trying to say, and let me see what Jahangir has answered. This is only a part of program as mentioned to show how to use eval in num1. Yeah, well try RC, well try. I still appreciate, well try, and well worked. You're trying to get what makes it more interesting, and what adds interest to me is that you guys are getting it right, even if you're not answered, or it doesn't matter whether you answered or not answered, but you're getting the logic right. That is the big thing. Congratulations. Else, okay, if option is equal to E, num1 is equal to input print. And I suppose Jahangir Wani has provided a very good solution. Let me quickly copy this. Jahangir, I'll copy your code. Be my teacher for the day, right? And I'll quickly take it here. And let me open the recent modules, which is web scraping. No. Dynamic code. Yeah, it is what we did yesterday. And I'll take your code. I'm copying your code for the day. If option is equal to E, but where is option, right? Okay, you're taking it here. Sorry, my mistake. You can never be wrong. You are Mr. Right. And if you want your feature bright, Jahangir, take a right. Okay, now let me run it. Let me see, and then I'll make all the guys understand it. This is the best solution so far, if I'm not wrong. So if I enter A, okay, you don't. Okay, my mistake. Okay, let me try again. I'll say I want to add. Enter num1, that is 10. Enter num2, that is 20. Absolutely right, 30.0. Okay, let me run it again. Let me see that everything else is working fine. Okay, S to subtract 10 and 5. I should get 5. Absolutely good. Absolutely fine. Okay, one more thing is here. Now the test starts. Evaluate. Aren't you asking for options? So let's say evaluate, if option is equal to E, yeah, we are going to take input. What happened here? I don't know. Let me try again. Keyboard interruption. E is for evaluation. Okay, and now what we are going to do, input. Okay, you're not okay, you haven't written anything here, so I will say okay, write your expression here, right, so that the user comes to know is writing expression. So now E, write your expression here. So I'll write 10 into 20 plus 100 minus 16. 284. Absolutely right. Congratulations. And the winner is Jahangir. I copied your code, and what you did, you just saved 10-15 minutes. Now what is Jahangir doing here? And I'll be showing you using the FB only, because I want his picture to be evident there. I want everyone to see. Okay, here's Jahangir Wani. Absolutely good. Input is type A, S and M. And now if you type A, he's using if else just here to take input, and second if else right here. Absolutely right. If you type E, else will not be executed, and number 1 and number 2 will not be taken as an input. You're only taking evaluation, which is the expression you are taking. And yeah, absolutely right. And now in case if you have taken the number, the second if and else is going to be executed, right? And now, yeah, absolutely right. Now if you write E, you directly go and jump into E, right? And now I will just I would just like to correct many different things right here, but only one correction is required. Why do you do this? Why do you run this? If option is equal to this print evaluation, yeah, still it's going to be good. It's still going to be good. But yeah, absolutely right. So the code is absolutely right. There's no problem in the code. If option is equal to A, LF, and then let me try again. Yeah, absolutely right. So I don't have any problem in the code, right? So let me write E to evaluate. 10 plus 10 is equal to 20, and here we get an evaluated to code. Absolutely right. So take input, right? If input is E, right, take it, and yeah, exactly, right? So we don't have any problem at all, right? So if you're typing evaluation, right, you're printing it thereby, so means else is not going to be executed, and remaining things are in the body of else, right? If else is not executed, you're not taking the input, and inside else these conditions are not to be executed. What Jahangir has done, has understood the concept of nested if else and elif very especially. Alright, what is going to happen if you write E, finish, nothing is going to work. Else is not executed, and this if is also in the body of else, so this portion is not executed. Now in case if you're not writing E, right, then you get enter num1, enter num2, right, and then you go the option that you have written, whether it's A, S and M, else multiplication is also done. A very good job done by Jahangir. Is there anyone else who has commented? So I forgot, maybe there is someone else who has answered. Nice content, keep it up, dude. Tom, thank you, Tom. Right, and let's get started with today's lesson. And as I said, Jahangir has reduced the burden. I don't have to show you this, it's already here. The code is already here, and very well done. Okay, fine. Now so let's get started with today's topic. Okay, and which is going to be now we are done with conditional formatting, right, and we are going to start with loops today, right? So let's get started with loops. Now what do you want loop, right? If you like a song, you want to play that song again and again, what do you say? I was listening to the song very nicely and very closely and with all tenderful of ears, right? And I was listening the song in a loop, means the song was repeatedly running, right? The song was itself repeating, or the media player was repeating the song. That is what loop is. You want to repeat. For example, if I want to type, let's say about, I want to print, I'll say print, let's say about this line 10 times. So you can say, you can do multiplied by 2, that's again option, right? Or I can say hello, I want to type this hello 100 times, right? So now if I run it, I'll be able to type it only once, right? Now what if I want to type it 100 times, 10 times, 20 times? So I'll have to loop through. So either, printing it again and again and again and again is not an option for us, right? So Python provides us, or programming provides us, that luxury of reducing the amount of code that we usually write. And in this case we are going to write more little code, because we have the first loop that I am going to introduce today to you guys is known as while loop. If I say write while true, is always going to run. That means it's an unending loop. Because okay, let me try this. If I say while let's say about I is less than 5, right? So while I is less than 5, what you got to do is print hello, how are you, right? So you are going to print hello, how are you. Now if I run it, right, if I run this, now we are going to get an unending loop here. Okay, while I let us say I is equal to 4, right? I is equal to, let's say 0. Is 0 now? Is 0, how much is in I? I has 0. Is 0, I repeat, I has 0. Sorry, is 0 less than 5? Yes, 0 is less than 5, because 0 will take 1, 2, 3, 4. It will take 4 more digits to go and reach 5. Now, is it true? Yes, it is true. Then print hello, right? So it's going to be an unending loop. It's never going to end. I'll have to break it. Control C. It's going to hang your computer, right? This is how they make viruses. They just keep the CPU and RAM busy. I just hit Control C. Control C immediately will break down this program. All right. And now, why is it happening? It is happening that I is less than 5. And I is always going to remain less than 5. Why? Because I is 0. Is 0 less than 5? Yes. And in order to print it for 5 times, what I do here, I will say I assigned to I is equivalent to. Now we know this is an assignment operator. It is going to assign something to I. What is that something? Maybe a cake, maybe a biryani, right? So let's see what it assigns. It is going to assign to I. Now what is I? Please tell me. I is 0 and I is 0, and 0 is going to be assigned. When I say I assigned to I, means 0 is assigned to I. That's still going to be, I will still remain 0. But if I say plus 1, now see what is happening here. Now I plus 1 is equivalent to, please tell me, I is 0 plus 1 is equivalent to 1. And how much is I now? 1. So this loop is going to run, right? Once the loop runs and comes here, how much is I now? I is 1, and I is 1 plus 1 means 2. Loop will take 2. Take second loop, right? And how much is I now? It is already 2, right? And now 2 plus 1 is 3. How much is in I now? 3. Again loop. Now how much is I? 3. 3 plus 1 will go to I. How much is 3 plus 1? 4. Now it will go to I. Again, condition will be checked. Is 4 less than 5? Yes, 4 is less than 5. Again, it's going to be printed. Now how much is I? 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 is assigned to, with an assignment operator. 5 is assigned to I. Now how much is I? 5. Is I less than 5? No, come out of the loop. So that means this loop will run for 5 times. Let's see how many times we get hello, how are you? We should get 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now what has happened here? Let me do dissection. As you know that you guys require to dissect everything. I still get reminded of those college days where we used to do dissection of those animals, right? I don't know. It used to smell like anything, but these days we do dissection on MS Paint, right? Okay. Now let me just make you guys understand. This is called initialization. How much are you initializing it with? So this is called initialization, and you are initializing I with 0. So now I is equivalent to 0. So now I is 0. I don't know. I'm in habit of writing 1 instead of I every time. I don't know. Maybe they look similar. Who knows? Okay, fine. Alright, so I is taking 0. Now let us carry on. Is a 0, I has 0. Now keeping 0 is as same as keeping I. Is 0 less than 5? While, unless, while means unless, until. I is less than 5. I is 0 less than 5? Yes, go and print hello, how are you. But as soon as you print hello, how are you, increment I by 1. Increment I by 1. I will take I which has 0 plus 1. Now I is 1. So first loop, I is equal to 1. I still type 1. I is equal to 1. Now second time, is I is 1. Is 1 less than 5? Absolutely, 1 is always less than 5. Now print hello, how are you. Now how much is I? Right here it is 1. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. How much is assigned to I? I is equal to 2 now, right? Okay, now let us try again. How much is I now? 2, right? So it will print hello, how are you, and it is going to do this, right? I is now 2 plus 1, 3. I is equal to 3. So I is equal to 3. Is that okay? Do you guys understand? Now it's going to see, is I less than 3? Print it for third time, fourth, fifth. So unless I gets I is equal to 4 and I is equal to 5. So this is why 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the moment I becomes 5, right, it breaks. Loop breaks. Now the moment I becomes 5, is I, which is 5 now, less than 5? No, it is not less than 5. Now this loop will break and you'll come out of the loop because print hello will not happen. In order to execute the loop, right, so I'll write it down, right? So this is called as condition, and right, so this is called condition, and inside, you know, I have indented it very well. Indentation is very important in Python, right? So I indented it very well. Fine. So now since indentation is done, now this is condition. Hello, how are you is called, and whatever is inside this is known as body of while loop. What is while? It is a loop, right, present in Python or any other language. While is with all the languages that I know, right? And right, loop will or run until, right, the condition, as simple as anything, is true. So this loop is going to run. I look what I write. Lop. Do you know what is this lop? No, I don't know too. Okay, let me write loop is going to run. Oh, let me be very, very cordial with you guys and very professional. While loop, right? Typing loop, just typing loop is not sufficient. While loop will run unless or until the condition is true, right? So unless the condition is true, the loop will keep on running. The moment condition becomes false, you come out of the loop. Now tell me one thing, what is going to happen if I, or you can write even this, I, you want to increment I by 1, you can say I plus plus. It still means increment I by 1. I is equal to 0. Is I less than 5? Print increment I by 1. I becomes 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let me show you again. Why don't we do one thing? We just print I aside this hello, how are you, so that you can come to know. I plus 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 plus. What happened? So I written I plus plus. So it doesn't work in here. I don't know. I'll write I is equal to I plus 1. It should work in other language maybe. Now you can see. Once first time you printed, I was 0. You can see you're printing I also. First time when you enter the loop, how much is I? It is 0. Now second time when you run the loop, it's 1, and then third time 4, 2, 3, and 4, and 4. Right? Why aren't we getting 5 here? Because the moment it becomes 5, the body will not be executed, because 5 is 5 less than 5? No, 5 is not less than 5. 5 is equivalent to 5. So you will come out of the loop and this is not going to get executed, right? Now, for example, if I write something like this, true, while true. Now tell me what's going to happen. Let's see. This is an unending loop because false is never going to come here, because while requires true statements. Never ever. You can see this loop is never going to end. Let's wait and see unless we end. No, it's not going to run. It's going to run for God Almighty knows how many days. unless it crashes your computer memory. So to stop this, you can hit Control C. No, Control C is not working. Yeah, keyboard interrupt, Control C has worked. So that's why this has to be true. Right? Okay. Right? So now what if I want to run, let's say I want to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I will say if I is equal to 10. And here, so I will run it like this. Okay, increment I and print I. Let us see what we get. 0, 1, 2, 3, 9, only 9. Okay, because 10 will not be executed. Why don't we say less than or equivalent to? It's called less than or equivalent to 10. Okay, it can either be less than or equivalent to 10. Okay, because if you only say equivalent to 10, then what is going to happen? It's not going to run. Okay, so it's going to be less than or equivalent to 10. Okay, now 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 has also come now. Why? Because less than or equivalent to. Now, if you want to start with 1, you can type I is equivalent to 1. Then you will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. For instance, I want to print the reverse of it, right? Say about I want to print 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. What do you do? Right? If I say I want to print 10 to 1, right? For that, what I have to do, I have to take I as 10, right? And I'll have to say it is greater than or equivalent to 0 or greater than 0. So it's going to print 1. And what I'm going to do here, I is equal to I minus 1, right? What will happen now? How much is I? I is 10. Is I greater than 0? Yes, 10 is always greater than 0. Print I. How much is I? 10. I is equivalent to I minus 1. How much is I? That has 10, right? Minus 1, 9. Now what is in I? 9. Come, is 9 greater than 0? Right? 9 is greater than 0. So it's going to run for 10 times. Let's see. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wait a second, someone is calling me. Wait a second. Alright, so I suppose you guys have understood it very well, and this is the programming, this is the power of programming, right? 3 lines of code and we are doing reversal of everything, right? For example, this is the loop which is used to fetch all your comments and all your wall posts in Facebook, Gmail, email. So this is how they do it, right? Not difficult at all. Humans have created computers. Computers have not created humans. Your brain, I repeat, your brain is far superior, far expensive, far better than any computer. But yes, you have to believe in you, right? And change is required because as I said on day 1, you won't be what you want to be by remaining what you are. Change yourself and you'll see the change. Everything around will change, right? Alright, so now I suppose you have understood it. You have understood even the reversal. How does the reversal take place? Alright, and can we run multiple whiles? For example, I have this single while here. I will say, for example, I is equivalent to 5. Alright, so I is equivalent to 5. And let's declare another variable, call it j is equivalent to 1. J is equivalent to 1 and I is equivalent to 5. Now the first condition is going to be if I is greater than let's say about 1, right? Is I greater than 1? Yeah, 5 times the loop will run. You are telling that print, let us say print NIIT, right? After printing NIIT, what I do, right? I go inside, right? And what I do another while. I will not do increment or decrement. I run another while, right? Try and get this concept. It's very easy. The concept is very easy. So while j is less than or equivalent to 4, right? How much is j? 1. Is it less than or equal to 4? Yeah. Initially 4 times this loop will run, and this loop is going to run 4 times as well. That's why I written equivalent to 4, because since this loop will run 4 times. Why? Initially 1 and then till 5 it's 4, and this loop will also run 4 times. Now this loop is inside the body of this while loop. You can see just underneath print means it's inside the body of this loop right here. Okay, now let's write. Okay, let me do this. So let me write print. Let me write it ROCKS, rocks. Right, so let me write NIT rocks. And I'll say something like this in second loop. So now we are inside second loop. I will say J is equal to J plus 1. And here in this loop, I will say I is equal to I minus 1. Why? Because this I minus 1. Now what is going to happen? Let us analyze it. Let's say while I still write 1. While I is greater than I. Is it true? Is I greater than 1? Yeah, 5. Now print NIT. Now NIT will be printed. And second loop. Is J less than or equal to 4? Yes. So second thing, it's going to print rocks. Now what is going to happen? J is equal to J plus 1. You are assigning J, which is 1 plus 1 means now J is 2. And you are also doing I is equal to I minus 1. Now how much is I, right? Tell me, I is now 4. Now come again, we are going to have I, which is 4 less than 1. So it's run 4 times and it is going to run 4 times as well. It's as simple as anything, right? Invalid syntax, I didn't put colon here. Alright, so let me execute it, save, yeah, save. NID, then I get rocks, and then I get NID. Now let us compare it. Dissection that we are used to. Do you love dissection? Or the way I show you dissection is done? Okay, let me show you guys this dissection over MS Paint. So let me get rid of this here. Print screen and take it to MS Paint, and let's see what's happening right here. Alright, so what's happening for that? I may require the code. Code is going to be the equipment for dissection, and result is going to be the patient that we want to dissect. So let me get rid of this extra code here so that we understand it. Okay, so done. What is this horn? Haunting someone. Right, so now while I is less than, I is greater than 1. So unless I is greater than 1, I is this time 5. 5 is greater than 1. Yes, go and print NIIT. So it prints NIIT at the first time, right? And then it goes to loop. J is less than or equal to 4. What is happening? Print rocks, right? And now is J is 1. Is that less than or equal to 4? It's going to print rocks. And now what we are doing? We are doing increment to J. J becomes, because unless this loop completes now, you're not going to go back to this loop, because this loop is inside the body of this loop. So this loop will run for the 4 times. That's what you're going to get. 4 times J is equal to less than or equal to 4. J is 1. First rocks, and then J becomes 2. You print another rocks, J becomes 3, another rocks, J becomes 4, another rocks. Is 4 less than or equal to 4, right? You tell me, because 4 times you already printed 1, now 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So now once you come after 4, now is J, which is now 5, less than or equal to 4? No, 5 is not less than, right? It's neither less than nor equal to 4, right? It's greater than then. Come out of the loop, do this increment, right? Do the increment. Now decrement, I is equal to I minus J. Now I is again decremented by 1. I is now 2. Is 2 greater than 1? No. Print NID. 3, print NID. 4, print NID, and 5. So no, it's 3 now because it has already printed 1 right here. It's as simple as anything. This loop will run for 4 times. It's as simple as anything. Let's not dissect it this way. Now we know that the condition, this loop will run how many times? This loop. I is greater than 1. I is 5. Is it greater than, unless it becomes greater than 1, right? So it's going to run for 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So this loop is going to run for 4 times, right? And print NIT for the first time. And now when the first time NIT is printed, this loop will run for 4 times, right? And you can see rocks, and then you enter this loop again. And now once you're printing NIT for the second time, you go and check j is already 5. Is 5? No. So this is not going to be printed. So as simple as anything. So now I'll just show you a few more things. Right. So now, for example, while I is greater than I, so I will not use this. So I'll say I equals 10. Right. So is less than or equivalent to, or less than, let's say about 10. Okay. So let's say print I. Right. So now what is going to happen? You are going to get nothing. Right. Because this is in the body. Less than I is 1, not 10. Now you're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, or you're going to get an unending loop. Now what is happening? You're not incrementing, neither decrementing. Now you'll have to give the condition so that increment and decrement happen. So I'll say I is equivalent to I plus 1. Right? I repeat. Now see, I is 1, run 10 times. So this loop is going to run for 10 times. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you want 10, then either start with 0, or you can say less than or equivalent to. Both the things will run here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the reversal, again I'll show you 10, right? And keep it greater than 1. And instead of plus, use minus. And now you'll do the reversal of the 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right? I suppose you are getting it, right? Okay. Fine. If you're getting it, no problem, right? Now if you want to print it in a single line, for example, what I did here, I printed it and I printed it in a separate line. If you want to print something in a single line, you can also do that, right? But for that you may require a few more things. So this was while, and if you understood 40 to 50%, that's what is the requirement for today's today's class. If you have understood it 40 to 50%, and that 40 to 50% is going to be very sufficient for you, because we are going to repeat the code in development, in web, in masters, and here and there we are going to repeat it quite many times, and I'll keep on doing hammering to you. Right? If you have understood input, you understood variables, you will understand loops as well. And if someone has understood it completely, then congratulations. And those who have not understood completely, still congratulations, because you are being patient. Right? And while being patient, you are going to get everything in the concurrent classes. All right. Now let us say we have already seen lists. Right? You already know that we have seen lists. So I can say LIS, or you can say L is equivalent to a list. And the list contains, for example, NIIT Srinagar. It contains NIIT Jammu, and it contains NIIT Delhi. Right? So it contains 3 NIIT centers. So now if I say, for example, print, I want to get, right? What do you want to get? You want to get print. Let me say print I. What is in I? Now you can see directly you are going to get I. No, it's L. Let me keep it list. Use fully qualified names. So I know list is a keyword here. So I'll say centers, right? Centers. Okay, centers. Okay, let me print centers now for you. Now we are going to get all the centers, right? So we're going to get list. Now if I want center 0. Right, 0th position center, please tell me which is. I can see NIT Srinagar. Now what if you want to get all the centers? I want to get all the centers. Will you say print 0, print 1, print 2, print 3, right? So I can say 0, 1, 2. How many you have? 0, 1, 2. And let me use 1. NIIT BANGLORE Bangalore, despite of the fact all are closed. 3. Now do you do this? Do you do this? Do you want this? Now this is hectic. This is called as an overhead. Why would you even do that? Why don't you do something like this? Let us say I equals 0, right? And you will say while I is let's say about less than or equivalent to 4. What do you want to do? Take print statements inside the while loop. Right? Print them, but yeah, if while printing them, do not forget. I repeat, do not forget increment I. So I'll say I equals I plus 1. What does I equals I plus 1 does? It keeps the previous value intact. Right? I plus 1 is 2 and then assigns to I. right? That's why if I say I is equivalent to 1, so it's always going to be 1. You're assigning, with every loop you're assigning I1, so it's never going to end, right? So that's why we say I is equivalent to I plus 1. You're taking out the previous value, adding, and then reassigning to I. Now let us see what happens. Okay, sorry. Why do you require this? So I can, instead of this 0, right, which starts with 0, you can say I. Now you can say you are getting out of range, so less than 4, not less than or equivalent to, it's going to cause problem. Now you can say you are getting all 4 of them. Now what is happening here? Okay, I is 0. Is 0 less than 4? Yes, true. Enter. Print centers, which is this, and which position I. I is how much? 0. Increment I by 1. Again, 1 is less than 4? Yes. Print the first position right here. Increment I. Come again. Print the second position. Come again. Print the third position. Now how much is I? Now finally 3. It's going to print 0, 1, 2, 3. Right? So now how much is I? 4. Now come back and check the condition. Is 4 less than 4? No, 4 is not less than 4. So this loop is not going to get executed. Loop is not only meant to print 1 to 10 or 10 to 1. It's also meant to print and handle lists like this. For example, you want to get tomorrow, you have an analytical topic and you want to get all the employees, right, who live in Srinagar. So you cannot get only one, you have to get all the employees. So all the employees means you have to run a loop so that everything is fetched quickly, like we are fetching them within a span of time, right? You see, all the centers are fetched like that, right? I'll do it again. All the centers are fetched like this. So now this is what loop is used for. Let me take a look at timings today. So we already 36, so we still have some good amount of time left. So not only not only lists, you can loop through dictionaries, you can loop through tuples and whatnot. And let me show you another loop right here. And another loop after while is for. So I'll say for. For means it's again a loop, like while is a loop. While takes condition. So I will say for I, right, is equivalent to 0. Now I'm initializing it inside the loop. In while, I was initializing outside the 0. All right, and I will say I is less than 3, or let's say less than or equivalent to 3. Why? 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I is initialized with 0 because all the list elements, they start with 0, 1, 2, 3, and maximum they are less than or equivalent to 3 is also good. All right, and this is how we do in other languages, and I'll show you how we do here as well. And I can say I plus plus. Now let us go inside the loop and say print I. Right, now when I print I, right, you can see that we are getting, this is an invalid syntax. So this is what we do in other languages, but what we do here is very simple. That's the magic of Python. So I will say for I, right, in X, right, and this is as simple as anything. So I will say print I, right. So for example, I is going to be I equals 10. Now what is going to happen here, right? You can say we are going to get in X, and X is centers, right? So I'll say centers. Let us print. Now you're going to get all, so you don't require to give conditions and every single thing. Let's forget about this. So for I, centers is going to count the total length of the centers and take it as condition, right? So unless, for means this call is for each loop, unless you reach to the end of the list. So because we say in I, right, you can say centers is NIT Srinagar, NIT Jammu, 3 and almost 1, 2, 3 and 4. If you start with 0, then 3 is still 4. So this loop will run for 4 times because you said I in centers. So it's going to count the total length of the centers right here, right? And it's going to count the length, and now it's going to run this loop unless the end of the list reaches. For example, if I run while, I will say while I is less than or equivalent to 4, and I will say print centers and zeroth position of the centers. I can say easily run, and you can see I is not defined. I can say I. Okay, and let us define I is equivalent to 0. So let me run it. We are going to get an unending loop. Why? Because we have to say I is equivalent to I plus 1 unless I increment I, so loop is not going to end. Because to make sure the loop ends, you have to turn this statement from true to false. Control C. That's not my topic today, so basically I'm not going to show that. It's not ending now. What to do? No, it's not ending. So let's say Control Shift break, maybe Control C, interruption. Control C has happened. Okay, finally. Okay, let me run it again. Right, so list is out of range. Why? Because you have to manually type the range here. If I say less than or equal to 3, it's going to run. Right, we are getting all this. What if I increase or decrease 1? Right, for example, let us say I increase 1 center. So I will say NIITKASHMIR. Now we have increased 1. So you can see that you are not going to get NIT Bangalore because the loop runs 1, 2, 3 and 4 times, right? So I is 0, and unless it's less than or equal to 3, that means total 4 times. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So when it becomes 4, come out of the loop. How many times will loop run? 1, 2, 3 and 0. 4 times this loop is going to run, right? But in case if you increase or decrease, what is going to happen if I decrease by 2? You are going to have an exception. You are going to have an error right here, right? Array list out of range. Why? Because you are running the loop for 4 times, but there is no data. 1, 2, 3. Fourth element does not have any data. So now this is going to cause problems here. So you can solve this here like this. You can say, for example, length of, we can say, I don't know whether this will work here. Length of centers, and I can run it. Yeah, list out of range. What has happened is less than length of this center. Now you can see this has worked, right? Now what is the length of centers? 0, 1, 2. It's going to count. It doesn't matter whether you increase or you decrease. For example, here I have increased. I am going to get all Jammu, Delhi, Bangalore, Kashmir and Srinagar. What if I decrease? No problem, decrease. Whatever you want to decrease, I will decrease them to 2 only. So the length is 2. So it's going to run for 2 times. Now what this length has done, it has made the loop dynamic. Initially the loop was static. Length is going to, for example, if I do this here, I will say print length of centers. Now you can see that length of centers is going to be 2. Right, 1 and 2. So loop will run for 2 times. Now if I increase the length, right, so let me increase the length here. Let me copy this and say I want to get, right, something like this. So let me increase the length of centers, right, and let me print the length of centers now. Now you can see it's 5. Now I want my loop to run for 5 times. So should I be manual or should I write any condition static? No. Now you have to make the static condition as dynamic. If I run it for 3 times, we are going to get only 3, right? And I has to be declared. I is equivalent to, let's say about I is equivalent to 0. So I'll declare I as 0. So we are going to get only 1, 2, 3 and 4, right? But we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. I'll make it dynamic, right? This. So I'll say I is less than, right, not equivalent, only less than, because length is going to give us total length starting from 1. So I will say it is length of center. So now what I have done, I made this loop as dynamic. So this is how you can make loop dynamic, or you can add an already dynamic loop which is for, right? So it's already dynamic. You don't have to add any condition here. You will tell loop that I am declaring a variable known as I, and I is going to take with every loop data from center. So it's going to take data from centers with every loop, right? So first loop, centers, NIT Kashmir. Second loop, this, unless you reach to the end of the loop, right, I am not going to display anything. So I will myself count the length and I'll give you the result. So that's why I say only print I will have the loop through values. Now you can see dynamic, it changes, right? Let's keep it only limited to 3 and we'll get 3 without even any exception. 1, 2 and 3. Increase it up to the extent possible under u, right? So you are going to get every single thing. So second thing that we can do in, for example, loop is not only the tuples. For loop is going to give us the luxury of running through any string. So I'll say x is equal to NIIT. So I will say for I in x and then print I. So it's going to break down my string to char. Now you can see string to char convergence. Now you know already that we can do this print x and the 0th element of the x. If we can do this, we can loop through this. 0th is n, right? So now what we are doing here, for I in x, so x will take the first element, that's n, right, and print it, right? So with every loop, but it is dynamic, you don't have to count the condition or give it the manual condition right here, right? In case of while, and if you want to run this in while loop, you can again say while. You have to give the condition here. So I'll say I is less than x, or we can say length of x. So will length of x work here? Let us see whether it works or not. And I have to declare I is equal to 0, and then I say I is equal to, look how much hard I work. I is equal to I plus 1. Now increment happens, and then I can say print, right? So I can say print x. Now if I print only x, I'm going to get an ID for many times, right? 1, 2, 4 times an ID. Why? Because x has an ID. Now what do you want? I want positions. Then add x here. Right? Now you're going to NIIT. Now what is happening? Now I have already shown you once I said print x and 0 is going to give me n, 1 is going to give me I, 1 is going to give me I, 2 is going to give me again I, and 3 is going to give me t. Right? So this is incrementing from 0, 1, 2, 3. It's incrementing. Now I want this increment to happen in loop. That's why I have to say x is NIIT, and I will take I, which is automatically increasing. I, first time 0, print the 0th character, and second time 1, third time 2, fourth time 4. Now this is going to print because you're counting the length, and it can be dynamic also. Srinagar. I can say Srinagar, it's dynamic. I don't have to give length because it's dynamic. And you can do it more easily for I in x. Very easy. Print I. Now you're looping through. Again, very easy. Let me take a look at the time. So time has already been 47 minutes. So I hope you guys have enjoyed, and you started to enjoy, you started to become developers, you started to see the actual taste and temperament of programming, and you're very patient. I wish you all the best for your near future, and I congratulate you for your patience to come so far till class number 8 and class number 9. So things are not very far now. Right, as we progress and as we pass days, right, as days pass and then weeks pass, then months pass, and finally you may be able to get something good out of this lockdown. And for that, my wishes are always with you and my prayers are always with you. Goodbye, take care, see you.